and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And we are here in beautiful Rouses, and we're always glad to welcome in our favorite dietitian, April Sins. Hello, April.
Hello, Keith. How are you?
I'm very well, but I'm really looking forward to talking about pork.
Yes, we're going to talk all about pork because it is a pork month in October.
Yeah.
And so it's really a fun topic for me to talk about as a dietitian, just because there are a lot of myths around pork.
Okay.
What I've been told over my many years of being a dietitian is a lot of people think about like their blood pressure and things like that when it comes to pork. But here's the thing is that there are a lot of pork cuts that are not high in sodium.
Right.
So those are the things that, the ones that are higher in sodium are the ones that affect the blood pressure because of the sodium content.
Right.
So those are going to be things like bacon and sausage and ham. But if you buy fresh pork, like pork tenderloin and a pork sirloin roast, those are two things that are actually American Heart Association heart check mark certified. What that means is that they contain less than 5 grams of fat, 2 grams or less of saturated fat, and 480 milligrams or less of sodium per label serving.
Okay.
Now, what this also means is that pork tenderloin is as lean as a skinless chicken breast, which is amazing. So everybody thinks about chicken, which we love chicken. We have lots of chicken at Rouses to choose from. But everybody thinks of that as like the golden child of being
chicken or turkey.
The leanest thing, chicken or turkey. But there's also some pork options as well. Now, you can find some pork options that have a fat marbling and things like that. But the ones, if you're looking for the lean cuts, it's going to be your pork tenderloin is one of my main go-tos. And you could also get the whole tenderloin. You could get the cuts, get them sliced up. And you could look for those leaner meats, leaner cuts that where maybe if it has some fat, it's just on the outside of it, and you could either cut it off. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing to think about whenever you think about that, because it does have some leaner aspects of it. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you is a lot of people will overcook their pork.
And fear of pork being bad.
The fear of having it undercooked. And so they'll cook it until it's dry, and it'll be like chewing on, your tire, right? So we don't want to do that. Pork is actually not meant to be cooked like that. So if you have a whole cut of pork, you need to have a food thermometer is going to be your best friend in the kitchen. And a whole cut of pork is 145 degrees internal temperature when you put that thermometer in there. That's how you could tell when it's reached its done point. Now, if you have ground pork, if you have like pork, anything that's ground, you have to cook it to a higher temperature because of it being ground. But if it's a whole cut, that's going to be
the internal temperature.
Your internal temperature. And what's I've really discovered since I've been in the retail aspect is the many ways that you could cook pork. And one popular way is air frying pork.
I love my air fryer.
So many people have been really loving their air fryer and using it on a regular basis. And the thing is that it's not really, so if you're not familiar with the air fryer, it's not putting your food in grease. It is more of like a convection oven, but on the top of your counter. And so it doesn't use as much electricity. It heats really fast. It cooks really fast because it's in a smaller area. And it makes things taste crispy because it's sort of sitting up and it gets sort of that air filtration around it. Now, a lot of people have been using the air fryer for pork because they're finding that, when you cook those meats in there, you can still have that tender flavor in there. And so that's one of the most popular ways. And I think about also grilling is one of everybody loves to have some grilled pork or
tenderloin.
Yeah. So that's a really good one. Don't forget, you can do some great marinating techniques with pork. Now, the more that you cook a meat that's lean, marinating comes into play a lot more because that's how you're going to tenderize it beforehand. So you could tenderize it with a brine, but you could also tenderize it with your citrus juices. You could also throw in some spices and things like that. That's going to make the meat more tender and more flavorful before you even cook it.
Okay.
And then roasting. And then another thing too, I don't know about you, but I love my slow cooker. So putting that pork tenderloin in the slow cooker is so good. And you could cut it up beforehand even,
Right.
you know, and then have it. And then you could make a pulled pork with that as well. It comes out really tender. And in the Instant Pot, a lot of people have been really diving into experimenting with their Instant Pot and putting meats in there and finding that it's coming out really tender and flavorful. So those are, you can really use so many different varieties of cooking methods with that pork.
Very cool. We've done pork ribs before. We've done ribs.
Yeah.
But I think I want to do a tenderloin in the Instant Pot.
Yeah.
And I want to do it in the air fryer. And we've always grilled it. So we
Yeah.
eat it quite a bit as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a great option, and you
Good
can
protein.
yes, great protein. It's actually very nutritious. There's a lot of vitamins that's in the pork. Pair that with some vegetables, then you have that pork plus plants, which actually adds so much nutrition and also helps some absorption of some of those nutrients as well. And also think about, you know, what are those good healthy oils that you could use, maybe like olive oil or something like that to help with that process as well.
I like it. And I love the idea of being able to put different things into, being able to put marinated differently. That's awesome.
Yeah.
To be able to look at different options, just changing it up, right?
Yes.
Do that pork tenderloin 4 or 5 different ways and so much better.
Make a rice bowl even.
Ooh, I like it. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment of Eat Right with Rouses. But don't go anywhere. We got a whole lot more right here on HTV.